Hi, my name's Tim. I'm one of the head tutors at the MCAT Self-Prep, and I'm here to talk with you about what topics does the MCAT cover. To answer it simply, the MCAT changed back in 2015, right around when I was starting college. And at that point, the MCAT added a fourth section. So the way that we count out the different sections on the MCAT are, we start with chemistry and physics, then you go to a reasoning and reading section. It's called critical analysis and reasoning skills. Then you're going to go on to your biology and biochemistry section. Then you finish up with the new section, the behavioral sciences section, and that's going to have a mix of psychology, sociology, and a little bit of biology in it. So, that's a very brief overview of how the MCAT is set up. With that said, what do you actually need to know for the MCAT? That's a very different question. Your undergraduate classes will probably teach you the basics in each of these subjects, and they are prerequisites for the MCAT. They will help you succeed. With that said, there's going to be material on each of these subjects that wasn't taught in your undergraduate courses. A lot of undergraduate physics may not be teaching about different hydrodynamics and Poiseuille's law. They might not be teaching you in biology about the intricacies of the immune system that you need to know for the MCAT and the different clotting factors. With that said, you do need to study a lot for the MCAT, and there's no clearly written objectives of you need to study exactly this, you need to know exactly these facts to do well in the MCAT. The AMC does give you a list of 9 broad objectives that are going to be covering your science sections, and they also give you some study skills that are going to be part of your CARS section. So this means that we have a loose idea of what's going to be on there. Every MCAT is going to have some electrical chemistry. Every MCAT is going to have some biological pathways and processes. It's going to have a couple of amino acid questions likely. But we don't know exactly what within those domains, so that leaves a lot for you to study. A lot of times, students will ask, where's just a list of material that I can memorize to do well in the MCAT? And yes, of course there's some documents out there that could be hundreds of pages long and contain a ton of facts that could be tested on the MCAT. But the MCAT is not simply a test you can just memorize a bunch of flashcards and automatically score in the 90th percentile. A lot of these questions are associated with passages, and they're going to be passages on things that you haven't studied before. So you're going to have to read them and interpret them as you go and actually gather material that way. Of course, there is some material that you can study and learn along the way. And there's lots of places that organize this content into really identifiable courses or structures. With MCAT Self-Prep, we actually have a free e-course. We take Khan Academy videos, we take AK lecture videos, and a couple of other resources, synthesize them, tell you, hey, here's the Kaplan and Princeton Review books that are going to line up with what you just watched. Go read section 8.3 in this book. That's going to help reinforce these ideas. We also have Quizlet cards, over 5,300 of them, that I've written and edited personally, so I know that these are a high quality product that can help you. You can learn the basics. If you know content on the MCAT, you can get at least a 510. To get above a 510, you're going to need a mix of knowing the content at a really deep level and some actual ability and skill to read passages. It takes a lot of practice, and to actually improve in that section, I tend to recommend doing some type of course or getting some one-on-one help, whether that's from someone that's already studied before or from a tutor. Tutors can be really helpful and give you the one-on-one help you need to overcome whatever challenges you're specifically facing. Now at this point, you might be wondering, why doesn't the AMC have a clear list of things to memorize for the MCAT? And it's exactly because students like you are out here wondering what they can memorize to succeed on the MCAT. The MCAT's not meant to be a test that everyone can get 100% of questions right on. The best questions in these test writers' eyes are questions that the highest performing students will consistently get right, and that lower performing students consistently get wrong. There has to be a good differentiation, and you need to have students getting questions wrong. They're never going to give us a perfect list of what you need to study to succeed on the MCAT. With that said, with these objectives, with our free e-course, with the help of a more knowledgeable other, to take a Vygotsky term, and to actually learn some of these skills that you need to succeed in passage reading on the MCAT, you can still score very well. People score in the 99th, 100th percentiles, and every tutor that MCAT Self-Prep hires scored at least the 97th percentile on their own test day. So, this brings me to one final question. How am I supposed to study if I can't memorize everything on the MCAT? And there's a couple of parts I've already introduced. I'd really recommend watching videos. Using our free e-course is a great way to get started because we can organize other materials to help reinforce your knowledge. But just watching videos is going to give you a very comprehensive outlook. You can learn a lot of details from these videos and then make your own flashcards or use our flashcards to study along the way. On top of this, you have to be practicing passages. The AMC passages are the gold standard. Buy their online only bundle, or whatever comprehensive package that you think is best for you. But you really should be doing a lot of those A and C passages, especially in your final month of studying. And when you're earlier on, find some other passage sources that you like. I know that for MCAT self-prep, we've written 500 CARS passages, so you can get extra CARS practice and understanding what the structure of a CARS passage is like, so you can practice some of the reading skills that you need to do well on that. There's plenty of other sources out there as well that can be just as useful, but I really do think that we have some top-notch sources for helping you organize your studying and to actually practice these passages. To round it all out, we also have a Create Your Own Study Plan, which can help you as you are just starting out your studying. And with our Create Your Own Study Plan, you say, I got a 485 on my diagnostic exam. I'm shooting for a 510. That means I need a 25-point improvement. Here's about how many hours I'll need to study. And there's even a section where it says how you can split up those hours to make sure you're putting the time where you most need it. And again, you can always get more personalized help with a tutor or anyone else that's a more knowledgeable other. Thank you for watching this video. I highly recommend you check out some of our other blogs and videos with MCAT self-prep. We also have the free e-course, we have great tutors, and we have a lot of other supplemental courses that can help you out as you're studying. Whether it's our 5300 Quizlet cards, whether it's learning equations, commonly missed concepts, getting better at your math skills, learning your biochemical pathways, lots of different options that we can really help you out with. You can customize what you want access to make sure that you are best prepared for the MCAT. You can't memorize everything for the MCAT. There's no list of what to memorize for the MCAT, but we can help you get started and see some of the most high-yield information. Thank you for your time.